Welcome back to BRMC's Healthy Connections. I'm Donna McMullen, and with me today is Jodi Owens, registered nurse and coordinator for the Rappel Diabetes Learning Center. And we've been talking about, since it's National Diabetes Awareness Month, what goes on over at the Rappel Diabetes Learning Center that is right across the street, right across the parking lot from the hospital. So we have 4 houses that are in a row that we call our support houses. And would you go ahead, Jodi, and tell me a little bit more? What's the number one thing people with diabetes should know?
I think the most important thing for them to take into consideration is their attitude. I really feel like we can tell them all day long, or we can provide them with the information, the dietary changes, the weight loss if needed, the exercise programs, and things like that. We can encourage them all day, but change is hard for everyone.
Sure.
Change is a big thing. Folks that have been doing something one way for a certain amount of time are going to be resistant to change somewhat. And I don't know anybody that wakes up in the morning and says, you know, I want to change the whole way I'm doing things. So it's keeping a positive attitude.
I don't want to ever eat cake again.
Sure, yeah. I don't want to enjoy anything else.
Yeah.
But keeping up and keeping a positive attitude and incorporating these things in a slow, just ever-changing environment. We don't encourage everyone to go home and change every single thing in their life today.
Kind of take baby steps
Small
to get to
steps,
the ultimate goal.
Sure, small steps in the positive direction. I use that phrase a lot because just incorporating a few things, you know, whether it be one thing a week or a couple things a month, until they get to that ultimate goal is what we really want to help them with. And diabetes is not something that they can just take a pill or take some insulin and cure or fix.
Right.
So a lot of times incorporating these things into their lifestyle, and even for myself, since I've become a diabetes educator, and incorporating some of these things in my lifestyle has been a little bit more challenging than I thought. And I just think that if everyone can keep a positive attitude and remember that we are at the center for them, you know, whether it be just a phone call for some support, or stop by for a cup of coffee, just to hash out something that's new. And that's what we encourage everyone when they step foot in our doors, that this is now their second home, and this is their place to come. So we really like to make sure that they know that, and that they know that there's not one thing that each and every person can do. It's a little bit different for everyone, and it's a little bit harder for some than others. So we just try to be there to give them what they need and to encourage them in the most positive direction. So.
And I've been over there, and I know that in the kitchen itself, with all the apples and the apple decor, it's very, you know, I keep waiting for the pie to be.
Yeah. I don't know what Miss Jan would think about that.
No, I don't think so. This is the diabetes.
We do keep a lot of hot coffee around, though. We drink a lot of coffee over there, so anytime you stop by, we'll have a pot of fresh coffee going.
So anyone that not even having diabetes, but having a loved one or a family member that has signs, symptoms, has been diagnosed with diabetes can come in. There's all sorts of literature. I know you've got all sorts of pamphlets, brochures, books.
We have pretty much literature and brochures and take-home information, if you will, on almost every drug, every preventative, every you know, lifestyle change, lifestyle choice. We have a lot of nutritional information. We don't have a set diabetic diet for anyone, as we were saying before. It's a very individualized thing, but we can get you on the right track and then get you set up with Miss Jan for an individualized meal plan if
Jan,
that's the
the
case.
nutritionist.
Sure, Miss Jan, our nutritional consultant over at the house, and she, you know, when she works with the folks over there, it's a very uplifting thing for most of them, because she does say, okay, now if you like this, then this is what we're going to make sure we incorporate into your meal plan. Whether it be, you know, you have to sacrifice something else, we're going to make sure you...
But we're going to get a balance.
Right,
we're not taking everything away. We're going to get it into a balance that works for your individual body.
Sure, and your lifestyle, and that's a lot of things you can teach someone or tell someone all day, and knowledge is power, but until they learn to incorporate and use that knowledge and put those pieces of the puzzle together, so to speak,
It's not of any use.
Well, true, and that's what we try to make sure that everybody has is all those pieces, because they are not going to have someone knocking on their door or following them around saying,
Right.
you can't eat that, or you shouldn't eat this, or you don't need that. It's really about giving them the power, giving them the know-how to take control of the situation, and just give diabetes a backseat. Okay, it's something that I have to deal with it, I have to live with it, but it's not going to be in control. I'm going to be in control of my life.
Right.
And that's really, I think, the most beneficial thing that most people don't even realize is the overwhelming and sometimes the emotional and the grieving process that they go through.
Sure, why me?
Right.
Why do I have this disease?
Sure.
What did I do? Or, you know, or, yeah.
And on the flip side of that, you know, we do a lot of outreach to our community for risk reduction. And with that, we speak a lot at different church events, different social functions, community clubs, that sort of thing, because we want to get the word out there that there are certain things that you can do for risk reduction. We try to accommodate most groups and things and work them into our schedule if as best we can, and do speaking engagements at different places. We've worked on some things over at Baxter Lab. We've worked on some things at the Eaton Corporation.
Yep.
So different things that
educating folks and
that we try to do to make sure that they are on the right foot and that they can kind of get in control of this if they know that they may be predisposed to diabetes because of some family connections or because of some other existing health issues. And we try to give them the tools that they need just to be aware of diabetes and what all it brings with it. And because it's an emotional process, it's a somewhat of a grieving process for a lot of folks. And it's okay, you know, we say it's okay to go through those 5 steps. It's okay to grieve that loss.
Sure.
So
Sure.
it is. It's really a neat, from start to finish, a lot of times a neat process that folks go through, and we see that develop over the courses, and especially over a person that takes our classes in a group setting, because we do get to see them so often through all those first stages.
You get to see all the positive stuff at the end when they follow the guidelines.
Sure.
And if someone wanted to reach you to do some outreach for their social group, what number would they call?
It's just the number there at the house, and that's 508-1765.
508-1765.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And that gets you directly to the Rappel House there at the hospital. So, and also, you know, with the risk reduction, we have a class there at the house as well. So if anybody is interested, or if anybody's curious about preventing or even delaying sometimes the onset of diabetes, then we have that we offer usually on a monthly basis. We usually have 1 or 2 a month. So again, that's a physician referral, and anybody can stop by, and we can obviously make that contact with their physician, be it here in town or in one of our, one of our
12, 14 counties that we do.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Well, Jodi, I want to thank you so much for coming in today and sharing all of your wonderful knowledge and all your positive spirit, which you have.
Problem.
I could see people just coming in there kind of being like this, and by the time they leave after speaking with you and Jan, going, okay, we can do this. So
well, we try to make sure that it's a positive experience, and we do take diabetes very serious, but I've said it more than once, if you can't laugh at yourself and laugh with your friends, then
you bet.
Makes a big difference.
Thank you for joining us today. We've run out of time. I'm Donna McMullen, your host for BRMC Healthy Connection, and our guest today, Jodi Owens, coordinator, the Rappel Diabetes Learning Center. Jodi, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.